Alright everybody, welcome to another video here for SyllaFX. So in this video we are doing a recap of the entry zones I sent out to the group for April the 21st on Friday. So before we jump into the chart here, if you like the channel, definitely like and subscribe, and don't forget to visit SyllaFX.com if you want to join the VIP entry zones group and catch these trades with us. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into the first entry zone I sent out with the euro dollar pair. So on this one, we were still above the 4-hour major support level here, and I was wanting to actually see price come down and break below the zone and give us a nice little retest to take a sell position. We're aiming for 30 pips on this trade and only risking about 15-16 pips. So let's take a look, see what happened in real time. So as you can see, right at the end of the London into the New York session, price never actually came down to break that level. So because it didn't do that, we didn't have a setup actually happen to actually take a trade. So no trade on the euro dollar pair. Moving on to the second entry zone I sent out, and this is for the dollar yen. On this one, we were obviously trending, breaking the lows here, breaking the lows, breaking the lows. So I was hoping to see price come back up and actually give us another retest in this gray area here. This is the entry zone. So hoping that price comes back up, give us a nice little rejection wick into that zone, and then take a sell position for 50 pips and risking only 20 pips on that one here. So let's see what happened in real time. So for this dollar yen pair, so let me adjust this. Stop loss was at 20 pips roughly. So what happened on this one is we did come back up and give us a retest, right? So if we zoom into that, you can see we got the nice rejection wick into the zone. It barely taps into it, but it still makes it a valid trade because it does actually tap into that zone. So we took a sell position on this one here. Now, if you are part of the membership and you have access to the SyllaFX course as well, hopefully you went through all of that because this explains what happens in this trade here. So with any of the trades that I take, any of the entry zones I take, I wait for the confirmation wicks to show that price wants to bounce off and go in my direction, right? Now, I also mentioned that when you actually get about 50% into your target, so we were aiming for 50 pips on this one here. At the 50% mark, which would be 25 pips, you move your stop loss to break even. So once we hit our halfway mark on this one here, you would have adjusted your stop loss to break even and completely eliminate the risk in the trade altogether, right? So still holding on to the trade and waiting for that 50 pips to be hit. Now, unfortunately on this one, as you can tell, price did come back up and spike all the way up and knocked us out of the trade. But luckily, if you follow the rules and you follow the strategy, you would have got tapped out at break even. So no loser on this one. Still a great valid setup. It just didn't play out in our favor. So we move on to the next trade. The next one was for the Aussie dollar pair. We were below the 4-hour major zone on this one for the support. So now this is the resistance we're looking at. We want price to come back up, give us a retest of it, and give us the confirmation wicks. Show that price wants to bounce off of it and continue down. So what happened in real time, if we go ahead and pull up this chart here, we have price did actually come down and break below the zone. So let's go ahead and let me zoom out a little bit here. There we go. All right, so price does come back up into that zone. This is the gray box, is the entry zone that we're looking to sell. So on this one, we had a valid setup here. We got the rejection wick well into the zone and closed out that way. So you take a sell position here. Now, as you can tell, price never actually came all the way down to reach our target here. We were aiming for 30 pips. We only got about halfway into our profit. So about 15 pip mark, like I mentioned on the last pair, you move your stop loss to break even after you reach that target. You eliminate the risk altogether in that trade. So risk-free trade at this point. And then another aspect of the course, that what I teach in the course, is by 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'm always out of every single trade, no matter where it is. If it's in profit or if it's in the loss, I'm closing out the trade by 2 p.m. So on this one, this resulted in about 10 pips of profit on this one here. So we still ended up winning. It was, let's see, 5 standard lots was on this trade. So a little bit under $500 was won on this trade here. So the third entry zone sent out was a winner trade. We didn't actually reach our target of 30 pips with a small winner for 10 pips, 500 bucks. We'll take that and run with it. So moving on to the last entry zone that I sent out for the group, that is for the pound dollar. So this one, we were already well below the 4-hour major support. So now that becomes a resistance. As you can see, price previously came up and tested once and came back down. So I was hoping to see that same type of retest to be able to take a sell position. So only aiming for about 40 pips and risking 20 pips on this one. A good 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. So let's see what happened though. All right, so on this one, we were at this point at the time of the entry zone being set up. We did have price come all the way up into that entry zone now, but what you can see is we don't get the confirmation to sell. This is why it's important to wait for the wicks, wait for and be patient and let price tell you what it wants to do. So once it got into that zone, it just kept going up and closed right above the zone and kept pushing up again. So that invalidates the zone at that point. You don't want to take a trade on this one here. Now, yes, it did continue down if you would have taken the trade maybe well up here, but at that point you're not at the entry zone. So you just don't want to risk those type of trades. You want to stick to the strategy and just don't take it if it doesn't set up the way you initially wanted it to. So on this one, no trades since we didn't get the confirmation to sell at the entry zone. So just to wrap up everything here, let's take a look, see what we ended up with for the day. So April the 21st, we ended up with roughly about $500 in profit. The first pair, euro dollar, was a no trade setup. The second one was a valid trade that was taken, but ended up being break even. The third entry zone for the Aussie dollar, a small win for 10 pips, roughly about 500 bucks. And then the last one, the pound dollar, a no trade setup here since we didn't get the confirmation to actually sell. So that's all that I have for you guys on the wrap up for the entry zones for April the 21st. Like I mentioned before, if you are interested in joining the group and trading with us, you can definitely go to SyllaFX.com and join the VIP entry zones here. We have the full course available to you, but if you are a part of the entry zones, you do have access to the course as well. That is included. And then, of course, we have the new Sylla Monster EA Live, where you can trade with the live stream of the EA robot here. Outside of that, if you guys like the content in the channel, definitely go to SyllaFX.com and join the membership. And then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for new videos. Thanks for watching.